allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Does that sound like it's on?
Nope.
There we go. Do we have any petitions or public comments about anything that, or community events that is not on the agenda? Jan has a couple.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Does anyone have, I have two events. The first one is on, well actually, yeah, the first one I want to mention is on Monday, March 24th at 7 p.m. and it's a second informational forum on the new capacity zone and transmission upgrade plans. This one is going to take, it's going to give updates. We'll hear updates on both issues, the latest information, and also take a closer look at the boundless energy plan, which would upgrade transmission lines through Ulster County. That's going to take place at the Ulster County Legislative Chambers, which is the 6th floor Flash Cube Building, 244 Fair Street in Kingston.
At what time?
At 7 to 9 p.m. And it's a panel, and there'll be a discussion and Q&A at the end. The second event I wanted to mention is the Repair Cafe, which is on Saturday, March 15th from 10 to 3 p.m. at the New Paltz Methodist Church on Main Street. And for those who don't know about the Repair Cafe, it's this really wonderful community initiative where you can bring a beloved broken item, a lamp, a clock, a necklace, basically anything really. And they have skilled people on hand to fix these for free. And you can also learn how to fix these things yourself. It's a way to keep things out of the waste stream and help community members. So, and that's it.
What would it take to get them right to the residency to do a repair?
I do want to mention that they can't always fix everything. So, but
And we are trying to start one in Rosendale as well, so hopefully we will have our own.
Also, just a reminder, we mentioned last week the April 5th event at 4 o'clock here for the Elderly Brothers, the pool fundraiser is still being held. And town office will be closed on the 18th of April for Good Friday.
We can't hear you.
No, it didn't
They're
feel
very
like it was
quiet.
working well.
they're very quiet.
Can you hear me now? No.
Hello, hello.
Is that better? There's a reason why it wasn't working. Was there anybody else that had something they wanted to? Okay. I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from last month.
I'll second.
Roll vote, Councilman Hassett,
Yes.
Councilwoman Metzger,
Yes.
Councilman Krasowski,
Yes.
Councilman Ryan,
Yes.
Supervisor Walsh.
Yes. Chris, do you want to start with the community reports?
Sure. Some news from the assessor's office. For the month of February, the assessor took in a total monthly figure of $2.75.
Don't spend it all on one
Copy
place.
fees, yes. Also, he wanted to note that last year, the New York State Legislature passed legislation to allow school districts to allow veterans exemption for school taxes. Currently, the veterans exemption is only allowed on town and county taxes. School districts would have had to adopt the resolution by March 1st to allow exemption for the year. And the only school district in our town that adopted that resolution is the New Paltz School District. Also, that he's been working on the 2014 update, assessment update, and letters were due to go out this week. I got mine today, so you should be receiving that soon. Environmental Commission report. There will not be an Earth Fest this year. They didn't want to, there was too much concern anticipating the pool construction project. Instead, they're focusing on 3 projects. Town emissions inventory, this would be an update and completion of the work that was begun 3 years ago. An update of energy audits for a new municipal complex and for the water and sewer buildings. And a review of the county's green procurement plan, as well as developing and proposing a similar plan for the town. The Chamber of Commerce has an event coming up Wednesday, April 9th at the 1850 House. It's a networking event, free for members. This is how I received it, $5 for future members. First glass of wine or beer complimentary, courtesy of the Williams Lake Project. Nice appetizers, courtesy of the 1850 House. And the Chamber is also working to develop and place a kiosk on the trestle that would help direct walkers to Main Street attractions and identify Chamber members. That's it for my reports.
Okay, water and sewer, first up. There's really nothing to report except what we have discussed with the grant, that situation that the letters went out with that for the survey, yes, for income. And please, it's a benefit to fill those out and send them back, because it's what's going to determine whether we get this grant now. So it's very important. So please do that. For the month on the water side, we took in $31,723.51. And on the sewer side, we took in $66,017.03. And that's all for that. For the Youth Commission, once again, that St. Paul clothing locker is really doing the kids really well. We took in $230.80 for the month. So thank everybody for taking their old clothes and that and using this bin instead of the other ones that are floating around. We had our meeting. Kathy Wade, it was her last meeting. She will be retiring on April 4th. She was adamant to me, I mean adamant, that she didn't want anything going on, any fanfare. I think it's pretty touching to her since she's been here so long. So if you do run into her, you may want to just drop your appreciation. So once again, April 4th will be her last day for the Youth Commission. Next on the agenda is the Highway Department. And obviously with this this winter we've had, the numbers are up there. We are at $14,778.18 for the month of February for overtime coverage for our employees. We're using like 2/3 of that has been used on overtime, and half has been used on materials. So hopefully we can get through the rest of this winter very quietly, and then we'll have to just be concerned about November and December for the fiscal period this year. And next up is the planning, zoning, and building clerk, and nothing going on there, no money coming in, so that was quiet. And I think that sums it up.
The Recreation Commission minutes are on file with the town clerk, and as Jean mentioned earlier, there is a fundraiser going on April 5th. It's the Elderly Brothers. It's going to be right here at 4 o'clock. They're a great group. If anybody's into Sinatra and that whole genre of music, these guys are great. So it's a great way to spend a few dollars and have a good time. And it goes to the pool fund, of which I want to report that the Community Foundation, and that's where we're putting the monies that we raise from the various things such as the selling of the bricks and any raffles that we have or any donations that are made goes to the Community Foundation of the Hudson Valley. And right now, in addition to the grant that the supervisor was successful enough to get it for $500,000 and some other areas, or the rec sub that we have, there's $7,614.25. And again, that's an ongoing effort, for our fundraiser for the pool. So if you want any information on how to donate to the Community Foundation, it is tax deductible because it is a bona fide 401(c). Just ask any one of us or call Town Hall and we'll be glad to get you that information. With that said, the Economic Development Commission met and the minutes are on file. The New York Rising Committee recently had a public information evening here and laid out the proposed projects that are on the table for the New York Rising project, and it was very successful. I think we had a real good showing, and where it's at right now is it's before the state, and we're awaiting the final word on what will be funded. And through our public information session that evening, we got some really good feedback from some residents as far as some additional requests that we've made specific to some solar applications at the new town hall, and so it was really good, and we're hoping that we're going to get all of our projects funded. So by next month, we'll be able to report to you where that's all at, and hopefully it'll all be there. We'll move on to the financials, and the building department reports for the month of February, a total taken in of $795. The town clerk for the month of February took in $3,040, and the Recreation Commission for the month of February had $3,720. And I believe that's it. Yes. Oh, yes. Thank you. Jen just asked me to remind everybody that there's going to be a dance party at the Rosendale Café on March the 21st at 7 o'clock, and it's an effort. It's a fundraiser for the Rosendale Food Pantry. We had one earlier, well, last year already, and it was very, very successful, and it was a great evening, and so we encourage everybody to come on out, bring a bag of groceries or bring a donation, but just bring yourself, because the very fact that people are there, and the food pantry has become, quite honestly, I think, the dear to everybody's hearts in Rosendale. And I'm so proud of everybody in Rosendale for stepping up and making sure that our food pantry is stocked all the time. Thank goodness it's stocked all the time, because we've seen a considerable uptick in our clients due to a lot of different factors: a cold winter, a cutback on some of the social services that we've seen, and so the pantry is important, and we're going to have a fun night of we called the last one Jam the Van, and Jeffrey's decided that a van just isn't big enough, so we're going to call it just come have a good time and bring a bag of groceries, bring yourself, and bring a small donation. It'd be appreciated, and that's on March the 22nd. Thanks for
21st.
21st.
And Allie's a great DJ,
What's the
so bring
time
your
on
dancing shoes.
What's the time on that?
It's 7 to 10, I think. 7 to 10. Okay, I guess first, financial reports. The transfer station took in $3,038 in February, and netted of that, it netted $1,072.41 in revenue for the month. The planning board took in $170 in fees. I don't have a report this month for the dog control, so I'll have to report on that next month. I also wanted to mention at the transfer station that Renee has filed her annual report on electronics recycling for 2013, and I just want to note that the town collected and recycled 21,267 pounds of electronics, which is really great. All of that being kept, all of those toxic components being kept out of the waste stream. I thought it was interesting that over 2/3 of it was TVs. Everyone's upgrading, I guess. So, the planning board had a pre-application meeting for a mobile rail trail cafe, which is going to be parked mainly on the Stone Mountain Farm property adjacent to the rail trail on River Road. The cafe is going to be serving foods made with fresh local produce, much of which is grown right there on the farm. And the planning board determined, that, well, it was going to be exempt from a vendor's permit because our code allows Rosendale residents to be exempt from that. And I believe they do not need a special use permit either, since it's a mobile unit. Let's see, there was also a lot line adjustment that was approved on Grove Street, and that's it.
In the general fund, there's $1,586,701.63. In highway, there's $1,117,295.75. In capital highway, $31,333.95. In capital, $78,866.55. In rec sub, $24,581.96. In capital rec, $791.37. In light, $26,291.06. We have a couple of appointments and resignations. I'd like to make a motion to accept the resignation of Christopher Fischer.
I'll second that.
Roll vote. Councilman Hassett.
Yes.
Councilwoman Metzger.
Yes.
Councilman Prislavsky.
Yes.
Councilman Ryan.
Yes.
Supervisor Walsh.
Yes. And as Councilman Ryan mentioned earlier, we have a letter from Kathy Wade asking to accept a resignation. She, as of April 4th, she's will have worked for the town for 24 years as youth director, and we wish her well on her retirement, and we hope that she'll still come visit us once in a while. But I'd like to make a motion to accept Kathleen Wade's resignation effective Friday, April 4th, 2014.
And I will second that with deep regrets and wish her well for the future.
Roll vote. Councilman Hassett.
Yes, with regrets and best wishes to her.
Councilwoman Metzger.
Yes, with great regret. Kathy's been a huge asset to our town.
Councilman Prislavsky.
Yes.
Councilman Ryan.
Yes.
Supervisor Walsh.
Yes. In your packet, there's a application for Matthew Gottstine to become a member of the Rosendale Youth Commission. I'd like to make a motion to appoint Matthew Gottstine to the Youth Commission.
And I will second that also.
I don't have the time, the expiration. You know if it's, is it the 15th or is it the year 14th? It has to fill a spot. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I don't know if it's to fill a spot or not. If it is, then it's 2014. If not, it's 2016.
I think I thought it was 15.
2 years.
Yeah. Okay. Well, can we make that motion with, I don't know if that's okay.
Contingent upon
Contingent upon
clarification.
Well, yeah,
clarification.
I think with Mike,
All right, we'll figure out the date and I know, Mandy and I have it all figured out, so just didn't get on here.
He's a fine young man and he'll be a big asset to the
Will you
youth.
come to the
Thank
meeting?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Roll vote, Councilman Hassett,
Yes.
Councilwoman Metzger,
Yes.
Councilman Kraslovsky,
Yes.
Councilman Ryan,
Yes.
Supervisor Wall.
Yes, but I don't, did we get a second on that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bob.
We have a need for a temporary part-time housekeeper. I'd like to make a motion to appoint Donald Whitaker as a temporary housekeeper at $9 an hour.
I'll second.
Roll vote, Councilman Hassett,
Yes.
Councilwoman Metzger,
Yes.
Councilman Kraslovsky,
Yes.
Councilman Ryan,
Yes.
Supervisor Wall.
Yes. Now, as you all know, I've been talking about this for the past year, and I nervously make a motion to approve the reduction of hours for Doris Fleming from 40 to 30.
I just have one question about this. Does she really regret that she's cutting back her hours?
Well,
I hope not, because she deserves it.
Her husband's retiring, so I think this was,
Yeah. No, she's put in so many years into this.
she's been here to 32 years, so. But she doesn't want to leave, and I think this is a good compromise. She'll cut back to 30. We'll kick her out once in a while, so she goes home and rests. Not let her work weekends and nights anymore, and maybe use up some of her comp time that she's been accruing. And hopefully, with the extra help, we're kind of working it out now, getting Risa trained to do the help with the payroll. Carol's coming back Monday, so that's just kind of timing out perfect. So, anyway, we have to make that motion to make it official.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
Roll vote, Councilman Hassett,
yes.
Councilwoman Metzger,
Yes.
Councilman Kraslovsky,
Yes.
Councilman Ryan,
Yes, with 10 hours of regret.
Supervisor Wall.
And, well, the good thing is she's still there to guide the ship. So, I'm gonna ask Chief Soul to come up, because we have a resident who has done some exceptional work to assist the police department, and we have a Pride of Rosendale award to give him. Do you want to ask him to come up, or you want to?
Yeah, I'll talk a little bit first. And then, and also I wanted, good evening, everybody. I'll give a couple little facts about what happened and why I think it's important that we recognize one of our residents. Last week, or actually on the 3rd, or the 2nd and 3rd, excuse me, we had a burglary occur within the town. And obviously, when that happens to one of our residents, we're always very concerned and whatnot. What had happened is the people that were burglarized are sitting here, Mark and Debbie. I don't know if you want me to say your last name or not, but Kastner. They live over in the Cottakill area. Unfortunately, they came home, and when they went into their house, they had recognized that many items were missing from their home. Immediately, they called the police, and actually, Officer Ferry went to the residence and started the report. But prior to that occurred, this is what's a very remarkable situation, is one of our residents, and Ray, why don't you come on up just for a minute, Ray Makowski, who has been part of the town for many, many years, and I've been a policeman for 26 years, and I think probably I've known you most of those times, right? So what happened is prior to the burglary that had occurred, Ray had noticed somebody in his driveway. So he had gone out to say, hey, what's going on, and why are you here, and started questioning this. Now, would I recommend that a resident go approach a burglar? No, I wouldn't. But at this point, Ray didn't know that it was a burglar. He just was trying to figure out who was on his property. But what had happened is Ray interviewed him, he got the license plate, and actually got the gentleman's ID from him. just communicating with him. So, and he just put it in his, you know, in his head and actually took a photo. And I don't want to get into too many details of the case because it's still in court. But he went home and I believe he discussed it with his wife and they were talking about it. He says, you know, it's probably a good idea that I call the police because something just didn't seem right here. So, and I believe Officer Ferry went to the house and was speaking to Mr. Makowski about it and you know, got the information because we didn't know anything that the neighbor's house had been burglarized at this point yet. So at that point, Officer Ferry had the information and to his credit, he broadcast that information right away. Hey, look at this. This is very suspicious. We're concerned about why this person was in this driveway and acting suspiciously, asking questions, and just really didn't belong there. A short time later, the Kastners get home, recognize, call the police. Patrick goes over to the house there, and now we're starting to put two and two together that we actually may have a suspect in the burglary. On the sheriff's department's credit, they were looking for the vehicle that was heading towards the Warsing area, we suspected, because that's the address there, and the deputy sheriff stopped the car in the area of the person's residence. Many of the items were recovered. We do have somebody under arrest, and so that's the good side. There's still some items that are missing and from their house. But again, what Ray did was just an outstanding job, and I think the residents in the town, we should recognize Ray for that job. And again, and I wouldn't encourage anybody for approaching a burglar, but it was just a mere who are you and what are you doing. And Ray, for that, I appreciate it very, very much. The town board has made a certificate, and I'd like the supervisor to present you with that, and then we'll get a picture.
So we have here a certificate for Ray. It says, "The Pride of Rosendale presented to Ray Makowski, March 12, 2014, in recognition of the outstanding job as a concerned citizen, obtaining information resulting in the apprehension of a burglary suspect." Signed, Supervisor Gene Walsh and Police Chief Perry Soule. Thank you very much.
You
Want to bring your wife and son?
Yeah, absolutely.
Patrick, too.
Come on over here, Patrick. Can I ask somebody to grab a picture with us, please? You get everything, why don't you come over here?
You're gonna have to tell me how to use this
Oh,
thing.
turn it around the other way,
Okay, this way.
and just push the white button there on the screen.
Oh, all right. I'm gonna move back.
Why don't you shake his hand?
Okay. Good. Yeah, good.
I can't
I don't hear any clicks going on
get
here.
No, that's old school, Jeannie. They don't click no more.
Okay, I got a couple there.
Thank you very much.
I just also want to say I've known Ray for many years.
Thank you.
Our kids all went to school together, and he's an outstanding individual. Play team all together. And, you know, this is just an example of his character, and we're very proud of you, and we appreciate having neighbors like you in our township.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Okay.
Good night.
Good night, Chief.
Bye-bye, thank
Right.
you. You don't put that on, you can't take a photo from that. Can't take a photo from that, right?
Not
All right,
stop it, no.
I'll get Mary to post it.
I could give you a still.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Right,
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
Still, we gotta put, yeah.
Let me email it to you?
Huh?
You want me to email it to you?
Yeah, I'm just thinking we would put something on the website to show. Okay, first resolution, this number is, give me a help there, Greg. 3/2014-3, Stop DWI agreement, be it resolved that the Stop DWI agreement for DWI enforcement patrols of the County of Ulster, copy of which is annexed here too, and made a part hereof, is hereby authorized and approved by the Town Board of the Town of Rosendale for the period of January 1st, 2014 to December 31st, 2014. It is therefore resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Rosendale hereby authorizes supervisor to sign said agreement on behalf of the Town of Rosendale.
I'll second that.
Roll vote, Councilman Hassett,
Yes.
Councilwoman Metzger,
Yes.
Councilman Kozlowski,
Yes.
Councilman Ryan,
Yes.
Supervisor Walsh.
Yes. 3/2014-4. This is the renewal of the customer service and maintenance agreement for telephone system at 520 Whitaker Falls Road, justice and police officers. And as I said, this is a quarterly. Whereas up-to-date communications technology is essential for smooth and efficient operation, and whereas the Town Board of the Town of Rosendale contracts with Crosspoint Solutions for telephone and communication services, and whereas Crosspoint Solutions submitted a quarterly contract renewal of service and maintenance, the amount of $144 for the telephone system at the Justice Court and police facilities, said contract, which is attached here to and made part hereof.
I'll second.
Roll vote, Councilman Hassett,
Yes.
Councilwoman Metzger,
Yes.
Councilman Kozlowski,
Yes.
Councilman Ryan,
Yes.
Supervisor Walsh.
Yes.
What was number 4?
3/2014-5. A resolution for new uniform contract for highway, water, and sewer, and transfer station employees. Whereas the town of Rosendale Highway Department needs to get new bids for the highway, water, and sewer, and transfer station employees' uniforms. And whereas the town of Rosendale Highway Superintendent has obtained 3 quotes from Uniforms USA, Ulster Uniform, and CINTAS, which have been attached here too and made a part hereof. And whereas that cost of said uniform contract comes out of 5110.4, and whereas after comparing pricing, quality, and service of maintenance to the departments using these uniform, a decision was made to authorize the acceptance of the uniform bid submitted by CINTAS Corporation of 138 Bracken Road, Montgomery, New York, 12549. Now therefore be resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Rosendale authorizes the supervisor to sign said contract with CINTAS.
And I'll second that.
Roll vote, Councilman Hassett,
Yes.
Councilwoman Metzger,
Yes.
Councilman Kozlowski,
Yes.
Councilman Ryan,
Yes.
Supervisor Walsh.
Yes. Okay. So, resolution 3/2014-6, right? Yes. This is to remove the $150,000 from line A2660, which was placed on the budget line in anticipation of the sale of the Main Street building. That money was never calculated into the budget, but we need to remove it. It's not really part of the budget, so we gotta move that. And the second step of this resolution is to deposit the $188,000 that we received from the sale of Main Street after the fees and the cost of the realtors into the capital pool fund. And I'd like to see this money go to the capital pool, and we don't need it to run the budget this year, so I think that's the best thing to do to help match our funds for the pool grant.
Is that the total amount?
Well, the 188 is what we have left after paying out the money to some other fees that we have for the sale. So, resolution 3/2014-6, modification to budget, whereas the town of Rosendale has a need to modify the 2014 budget, removing $150,000 from line A2660, And whereas the town of Rosendale sold the town hall at 424 Main Street, Rosendale, it needs to take the $188,000 from the sale, which was deposited into the general fund, and move it to the capital pool fund. Now therefore be resolved that the town board of the town of Rosendale hereby authorizes the supervisors to make the above changes.
I'd like to second it.
Roll vote, Councilman Hassett,
Yes.
Councilwoman Metzger,
Yes.
Councilman Prislavsky,
Yes.
Councilman Ryan,
Yes.
Supervisor Walsh.
I'm sorry, yes.
I find it, it's pretty remarkable, not very long ago, when we heard the numbers for the pool, it was like, it seemed like a far-fetched dream, and it's incredible how close we are to having something back into the community for all the families, so that's great. Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, I have some other ideas which I'll bring to the board next month about how to go forward to make this work, and I think we'll be pleasantly surprised. And part of this is I gotta wait for the state to come down and actually review the contract and how we're gonna go forward with that, so.
That's a good sign.
I'm starting to get the willies.
All right, so CDPHP, we're staying with the same company for employee health care. A couple of small changes. We are, as everyone knows, going to include the employees that work 30 hours and up, rather than just 40, as dictated in Obamacare. The other thing that we have to do is provide a different dental plan, a specific dental plan that's mandated through that Obamacare for children under 19. So there's going to be some changes in how they pay and how it's portioned out for the dental plan, but pretty much this will get a similar dental coverage. So we're sticking with the same plans. There's been summaries. We've gone over this last month. You guys will have packets last month to look over. But the other thing that we're going to do is, in our contract last year and previous years, we did not have a option for part-timers to pay in. And this year, we're going to, when we sign the contract, we will have that option that people can fully fund on their own the healthcare if they want to. Though I don't know that that would be their best option, but that's going to be available. So, 3/2014-7, resolution to approve supervisor to sign business associate agreement with Marshall & Sterling. Whereas the town of Rosendale currently does business with Marshall & Sterling as a broker for our health insurance, and whereas Marshall & Sterling has submitted a business associate agreement to the town of Rosendale, which is attached, and where CDPHP has proven to be the most affordable health care plan available to the town, and whereas the town of Rosendale has elected to continue coverage for town employees through CDPHP, and whereas the town of Rosendale Attorney Mary Lou Prisciana has reviewed and approved the supervisor signed such a said agreement, now therefore be resolved, the town board of the town of Rosendale authorized supervisor to sign said agreement on behalf of the town of Rosendale, which has been attached and made part hereof.
Like to second that?
Roll vote, Councilman Hassett,
Yes.
Councilwoman Metzger,
Yes.
Councilman Prislavsky,
Yes.
Councilman Ryan,
Yes.
Supervisor Walsh.
Yes. And that meeting is on the 20th for anyone that needs to sign up and be informed about anything they don't know about. So Jen, you come to that meeting? Okay.
9 a.m., right?
a new insurance policy for the town itself, liability and coverage of, you're going to see there's a letter attached explaining the process that we've gone through over the last few weeks. Our previous insurance was canceled, or not canceled, they elected not to reinstate us. And we are now going to go to NYMIR. There's a significant increase due to several claims that immediate impact on our premium. Last page has a premium summary. I'm electing to, if everybody agrees, to reduce the premium by, if you look on that first page, $5,000. We do the, we've had a history of having a $10 million umbrella policy. We would lower it to a $5 million, we'll save $5,000. And the other thing is the uninsured motorist supplemental uninsured motorist limit, go from $1 million to $100,000. And that will save us another $1,837. That one we really don't have a choice because that's the only way they'll insure us is if we do that. So those are the numbers.
And 5 million is adequate opposed to the 10
Yeah,
million?
I've talked to pretty much the last couple of years. I haven't elected to, bring that to you guys because we were doing pretty well on the cost. But most other towns and cities don't have more than 5 million. We had a 10 million. I don't know why in the past someone had elected to make it a 10 million umbrella, but typically it's a $5 million umbrella.
I think at one point in the past, the numbers worked out.
They could do
That
that.
it was, it was considerably in the past, and it's a different world right now, but the numbers did work out. At one point, it made a lot of sense to get the $10 million umbrella for just a little bit more.
Right, and the last couple of years, I've been asked, do you want to reduce that? And I said, well, it's not impacting us that much right now, so we'll leave it. But since I did not budget for this, I only budgeted an extra $5,000, and it's basically gone up $26,000. So if we reduce this, and we elect the 1837 reduction, then you have a $11,000 increase instead of $26,000. Basically, we're going to. So if you look at it, it's coming down to $91,244.74.
I just wanted to mention that Chris and I saw a presentation by NYMIR at the training that we went to in January, and I was really impressed by that organization. It's specifically for municipalities, and they get really good rates, and it seemed like a great way to go. So,
And this is a company that's kind of in place so that we can get insurance because we were turned down by 3 companies, and one company was only going to insure for $200,000. So this is a big difference. And
Some questionable claims.
unfortunately, we're at the mercy of the courts, and if someone gets a claim, and even if there's a pending claim, it goes against us. You don't know whether the person's going to win the case, but it still goes against us. And I can't really say too much about it because there's some pending litigation, but I don't feel that we had some, I think that we've had some bad breaks on that we were not, we probably should not have had something against us that did happen. And, they look at the overall claims throughout several years, but, this is going back a few years, but that's how we look at it. I would like to change a few of our policies, and one of the things I want to do is, already started talking to department heads, I'd like to have more documentation about complaints. One of the things we need to be aware of is when there's complaints that are for things in our town, but maybe they're not our jurisdiction, so that we can pass those complaints on to other jurisdictions as a, if, for instance, if there's another, maybe it's not our water district that we run, but it's a water district in the town, somebody makes a complaint, instead of just giving them a phone call, to say, we'll call this person at this, address, we're gonna have to document how do you get that information to that person from the other agency so that we're covering ourselves for liability? And,
Policies to prove that we've done our due diligence on
Right.
any issue, any matter that comes to our
Right,
attention.
and I think that that's something that, we'll kind of draft something new so we can, but, just to start out, we have to have, somebody comes in and has a verbal complaint and they want to tell Mandy about it, it's gonna have to go in writing. And we're gonna have to decide how that's handled, so that it's not just a complaint and it's not followed. We gotta make sure things are followed, so. So anyway, I'd like to say we have a choice in this matter, but I think we're pretty much, our hands are tied. So we have to do this resolution. Approve the supervisor to sign contract with NYMIR for insurance for the town of Rosendale. Whereas the town of Rosendale currently does business with Quilty, Dwyer, and Larkin as a broker to insure the town of Rosendale. Whereas our current insurance carrier Trident has opted to not reinstate the town of Rosendale's policy. And whereas Quilty, Dwyer, and Larkin has researched several different insurance companies for coverage for the town of Rosendale and found NYMIR to be the most affordable, with a total cost of $91,244.74. Now therefore be resolved that the town board of the town of Rosendale authorize the supervisor to sign said agreement on behalf of the town of Rosendale.
I'll second that.
Roll vote, Councilman Hassett,
Yes.
Councilwoman Metzger,
Yes.
Councilman Prislavsky,
Yes?
Councilman Ryan,
Yes,
Supervisor Walsh.
Yes, I should have said that I have the whole policy here, if anybody wants to look at it, I only put the.
Okay, wait.
And if you want to read the policy, it's right here. There's a lot of papers to put into the packet. And last month we talked about, I don't know if it was last meeting or last month, about the acquiring the 2 parcels, the county, 2 out of the 3 parcels. And after talking to our attorney, she recommended we do a title report showing there's clear title to the property before we take it over, as the company that this property was taken from could possibly have liens against it. So then we want to be sure that we're getting this property free and clear with no liens against it. So what this resolution is to go forward and, with the understanding that we would it would be contingent on getting a title report.
so if we hear the term that you want to do a quick claim sale, there's no way we're going to do that.
It's a quick claim anyway, because that's what the county did, they did a quick claim, okay? But what we'll do is have a title search done to attach to it, to be sure that the title, that there's no
Right, because
right.
it's very hard, if not impossible, to get title insurance by doing a quick claim. I know that now.
Well, we'll have to
We'll
have to see what they say, and we'll make a decision based
Right.
on that.
I'm just throwing that information
No, I
out there so
think
we're all aware of it.
This is the recommendation, and I think it's sound advice, so I think that's what we should do. I think we agree that this is good property for our town, but let's make sure that it's not gonna come back to bite us. So resolution 3/2014-9, the purchase of 2 parcels from Ulster County, whereas the town of Rosendale has been approached by Ulster County regarding 2 parcels of land that are in the town of Rosendale, whereas the town of Rosendale is interested in acquiring these 2 parcels of land. Now therefore be resolved, the town board of the town of Rosendale authorizes the supervisor to enter into a contract with Ulster County to purchase 2 parcels of land for $1, with the signing of the contract to be contingent upon the title report showing the clear title of the property and the attorney's approval of form of final contract.
I'll second.
Roll vote, Councilman Hassett,
Yes.
Councilwoman Metzger,
Yes.
Councilman Prislavsky,
Yes?
Councilman Ryan,
Yes,
Supervisor Walsh.
Yes. So, I'd like to make a motion to hold a special meeting on, you say the 27th, March 27th at 6 o'clock at the new town hall, for the purpose of reviewing and approving the resolution to apply for a grant, for the Main Street grant that we talked about last week, and to do the contract for the park and ride, which was not finished being prepared this evening. We finally got the final word on it this afternoon, and could not get it done in time. So since it would be ready by then, I'd like to go ahead and do that too.
Can you repeat the date?
27th
27th,
at 6 PM at the municipal.
this is only gonna be, like a 15-minute meeting. We've already reviewed all the materials, and we're just gonna do the resolutions.
I'll second it.
Do we need to make part of that motion to ask Mandy to advertise it?
Yes.
Yeah, so add that on there, I'm sorry. Amend that to,
Alert the paper of record.
blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Roll vote, Councilman Hassett.
Yes.
Councilwoman Metzger.
Yes.
Councilman Prislavsky.
Yes.
Councilman Ryan.
Yes.
Supervisor Wall.
Yes. And of course, if the information I'm looking for is not ready, I'll cancel the meeting for that grant. That's what I'm waiting to find out about. But the deadline is the 31st, so we can't wait till next month.
We can still sign for the parking lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's up whether everybody wants to, we can hold off on that, that's not the end of the world, but, I'm just saying if we have it, we might as well do it, but, that's not something that would make that much difference. Yes?
There was a lot of work done on an application. I remember putting input in.
It's a totally different thing. but I think
It's totally different. I was just wondering,
You're talking about the Rockefeller application?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm aware of that.
I was just wondering if any of what was recommended in there is being
I can
transferred.
review it, but it's really about a different thing. It's about rebuilding after it's gonna depend on what goes on with the water grant, and it's about meshing some things together, see if we can make it happen. And I'm not sure, I haven't gotten enough feedback from them about what the requirements are, so it's about whether we're gonna have to put money out that we don't have, so that's another thing that needs to happen.
And it's not through RUPCO, it's through
No,
another
this
organization.
is through Central Hudson Fortis.
This was part of the $5 million development assistance that came out of the merger agreement.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay, thanks.
I have that grant if you need it.
Okay.
This week too.
All right, so I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session to discuss the employment of a particular person.
Second.
Roll vote, Councilman Hassett.
Yes.
Councilwoman Metzger.
Yes.
Councilman Prislavsky.
Yes.
Councilman Ryan.
Yes.
Supervisor Wall.
Yes.